If you don't listen to anything else that happens in this video, listen to this one. Hi, welcome to the House of Valentina. I'm Valentina, and today we are hanging out in my sunroom because this room, it's in need of a little bit of help. So our house has been in transition, just like many of you, with all the changes that have been happening with the pandemic and how that's affected the kids' schooling and work and everything else. We just needed our house to basically be shuffled around a whole lot. So we will be sharing tons of room makeovers very much in the future in our own house, and we're making over so many of our clients' houses. If that's something that you're really into, we hope that you will hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, leave us a comment, let us know if this is something that you want more of, and if you want to hear how we're going to design this space, stay tuned. I've got tons of stuff I want to share with you. 5 things that you want to do before you decorate your space. That's a pretty bold statement, but these are the 5 things that I have learned over the years. I realized for many years, we've moved 23 times, guys, 23 times. And I realized that so often I decorated using just whatever I had on hand. And you've seen that so much on this channel. You can do so much with what you have on hand by just simply moving things around and creating a space. But what I do for my clients oftentimes is I design a space from scratch. And I'm not emotionally attached to any of their things, obviously, because I'm not emotionally attached. And they're maybe ready for something completely new. They're ready to maybe sell what they have, do something completely different. And so we start from scratch. So what I wanted to do today is show you how to design a room from scratch. How do you design a room when you got nothing in it, or if what you've got in it isn't really working for you and you really want to completely change the space? The first thing that I ever do before I start talking about sofas and art and rugs and all those fun things, the thing that people always, I find, want to skip through is this first step, and it's the most important step. If you don't listen to anything else that happens in this video, listen to this one. Step number 1 is to think about how you want to feel in the space. More than anything else that happens, this is the most important question. You've got to think about your space. When you walk into it, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel relaxed? Do you want to feel energized? Do you want to feel happy? Do you want to feel kind of chill? Do you want to feel like this is the kind of space that you want to run and jump up and down in? Do you want a space that soothes you? Do you want a space that's very natural feeling? Do you want a space that feels very bold and energetic? There's so many different feelings that a room can bring to you, and you really have to start with that. I really like to have images attached to this rather than rooms. I think that this is really essential to putting your space together before you start thinking about the sofas, or you start pinning rooms, living rooms that you like. Before you get to any of that, keep your focus on how you want to feel, and then try to attach that to imagery that goes beyond a room. As I think about my own space, I think about the joy and the love and all the different emotions that I really want myself and my family to feel in here. I want to feel fierce, and I want to feel that graphicness of the space. I really love that juxtaposed with natural glam. I know it sounds crazy to put all these emotions into one space, but don't limit yourself to one thing. A room can be many things. It can be relaxing, it can be glamorous, it can be sophisticated, it can be cozy, it can be natural. There's no limitation. Don't limit yourself at all. Think of all the things and all the ways you want to feel in a space and include those emotions. I recommend at this point, if you don't already have a Pinterest account, grab a Pinterest account. You can follow someone like me. I've been painting for years. I love it as a tool. It's something that helps me a lot. So I recommend that you have a digital board where you can just throw all your images on it, and this is just a perfect place to start. That way, even if you decide to work with a designer to help you pull together the final elements, this step alone is what they really need to understand what to do to give you the room that you really want. Unless, of course, you don't really care about any of that and you just want them to create some sort of space for you. But most of my clients aren't like that. They really want a room that feels personal. And I really like being able to deliver that. So think about doing this step. I think it'll really help you. Think about the purpose of the room. So you've thought about how you want to feel in the space. You've thought about the emotions of it, what you want to sense. Maybe you want to think about how you want it to smell, all those kinds of things, right? All those things get put into that category. Then you have to start thinking about, how do I actually want to use the space? Now, sometimes if you've got a space that you've already been using, you can ask yourself, how have I been using the space? And what is it that doesn't work and what about it does? That can be really helpful. Now, if you're moving into a new space that you've never used before, you have to really think fourth dimensionally. Yes, this is the channel where you will hear a lot of Back to the Future references because it's my favorite movie. All three. I love the whole series. Best thing ever. So I like to think fourth dimensionally when I think about a space. So when I'm designing this space, I'm gonna be thinking about my family. How do we want to use this space? If I'm in the kitchen and one of my kids is sitting, or maybe one or two of the kids are sitting at the table, and then one is in here hanging out, how are we going to use the space? This is the point where we're at right now, and we're stuck because we have a much larger family room in the other part of the house, and that's where we think we want to put the TV. So we ask ourselves, well, if we're lounging in here, but there's no TV, are we going to be using the space like that? Should we have a TV in here? We're just really thinking a lot about how we want to use the space and how it's going to really work for us. Okay, so step number 4 is the part where most people want to start at, which is dream furniture. Now, this is where I find that most people go astray, and this is why they end up with rooms that they don't really love. Is hopefully you've done step number 1, which will help you understand overall what you really want out of the space, overall how you want to feel in the space. A lot of times what I see people doing is that they choose what they think they can afford. You should never shop for your furniture based on where you think you can afford. So I shop a lot at Target, you guys know that, but I don't start with Target pieces. I might find a piece at Target later, that's what we're gonna get to in a second, but don't start with your budget. Don't let the brand dictate what you're gonna put into this space. Just dream big. It's wide open thinking. What is your dream piece? If you could have anything in the world. Because what I have found is that oftentimes that'll help you find out what you really, 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 really love, what really makes you tick. It gets you so excited about your space. And then what that will do is you'll find a piece that you love, and then when you're shopping somewhere like Target or somewhere like Macy's or even somewhere like American Signature Home, you see the piece that you really, really want, and now you're like, that looks like that. That totally works. But if you were shopping there first, you might not have spotted it. You might have missed it, or you might not even thought you could afford it, and you didn't go looking for it in any other place, and what happens is you missed it, right? So think about your dream pieces first, and then work your way backwards to the pieces that you can actually afford, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that makes sense. This is when you can start maybe adding some images of rooms that you've seen that you really like. This is a great part to start adding that in. As you might imagine, as someone who works in this business, trying to narrow down the things that I really love is very difficult. I know you guys struggle with this, but just throw everything you like into a board. You will narrow it down later. Okay, and then after you've done all of that, step number 5 is to go ahead and start actually shopping. So you might luck out and the pieces that you found will actually work in the space. And if they don't, it's okay. This is when you start actually thinking through, how big of a sectional do I actually need for this space? What was it about that sectional that I really liked? So I'm thinking through, okay, I liked the lounginess of that one. But I need to find one that doesn't look so fluffy. Like everybody loves the cloud, but I hear all the time that they're just messy and people are constantly having to refluff them, and I know myself, I would hate that. But I wanna find something that has that loungy, epic, just fall back into it kind of feel. But I want something that's dramatic, so it might be my drama. My drama may be my wall color, and then that relaxation factor might come in through the sectional. And then I'm gonna start thinking about the natural side of what I wanna bring in, and you just start gathering all of that. Again, put it in your Pinterest board, start gathering up those images, and these things will definitely help you get on the right track to creating a room that you really love, and a room that's gonna work for you, hopefully for a long time. I thought it might be helpful to show you guys the mood boards that I'm creating for my own space based off the things that we've talked about today. So here you can see I've brought in a lot of those elements that I've been talking about, some of that spunk, that little bit of that fieriness, that energy, but then there's like the raw, natural elements. And then I start putting the pieces actually together in a mood board so that I can play with them and see, what do I actually like out of this? What feels right? What doesn't feel right at all? Here I've even added in my wood floor so I can really see it. And I think that it just really helps to start pulling these things together. So this is just a little bonus tip. I think you could use PicMonkey. I think they offer a free service where you could create a little collage. But otherwise, this is what we do when we help you pull your rooms together. We create these mood boards for you. So whether you do it on your own or you hire a designer to help you, all these steps will just naturally come together to help you create that dream room. So this is just a quick way of kind of getting you started, just getting your mind working on how to think through your room so that before you ever start decorating, you've got everything ready to go. That way, when you go to decorate, you create amazing, wonderful spaces that you just really love. I hope that you found today's video helpful. I hope it's given you some quick tips and tricks. You can follow us on our Pinterest account. I'll leave all the links below so you can see those. You can visit my own board. You can also visit my home wish list board. Anytime I see anything that I'm interested in, which is a regular occurrence because, you know, my job is to shop basically and to help people pull their rooms together. So I see things that are really, really cool all the time. And like you, they're on a budget, and I might pull something and I stick that into my home wish list board because I think, oh, somebody else might want to see this. So I'll leave a link to all of that down below. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to also give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment and let us know, what spaces are you designing? What would you like to see this room actually come together? Would you like to see the process as we pull pieces and actually start working through this entire process ourselves? It's always so helpful when you guys let us know what you want, because we want to make sure that this channel is for you. It's so that we can have this time together and hang out and encourage each other, and also be able to help each other as we create these amazing spaces and we get to design a home. How fun is that? So thank you so much for joining me. I always love when you guys come for a visit. It always makes me so happy. As always, thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.